In Los Angeles, it's like a desert, really. But they have what is the floods every 20 years or so. And we always tend to forget that every 20 years we get hit by a flood and we act like we're all shocked. So this is based on one of those floods, and it's called Rising Dreams. With the arrival of autumn came dreams of rainstorms. And with those dreams, we stockpiled discarded tires found around the block and in backyards. Every avenue, concrete wash, cemented stream, paved and unpaved street offered us a glimpse of glory, the chance to conquer the fury of a desert winter. And with that hope, our eyes filled up with fantasies of rain so powerful they flooded streets and cities, and schools were forced to cancel days. In an instant, we would hand over every treasure we hid under our beds, in our socks, backs of closets, and we would even hand over our brothers' and sisters' belongings if it meant we could, for once in our lives, roll out those torn up tires to the sidewalks and river raft the streets, swerve around the parked cars, concrete fences, the churches, barking dogs, fencing windows, and freeways. Unconcerned with our destination, whether lost in the undercurrents of the river or in the arms of firemen holstering us out with helicopters. Some of us grew old and died, those mystic dreams buried with us. Others left with our myths of epic brains packed in boxes. But the rest of us stayed and we told our dreams to our children. And soon they too would dream and look to the sky, brown like the worn out earth growing below us. So I have an obsession also with the 80s. And it's called You Bring Out the 80s in Me. So a lot of it is actually a reference to the 80s, but also LA history during the 80s. You bring out the 80s in me. The red leather jacket in me, sleeves zippered with your name in me. The Arsenio Hall dog pound woot woot in me. The Cabbage Patch dancing in me. The freaks come out at night in me. The breaking on cardboard dance floors in me. The message in me. The pet rock in me. The Saturday afternoon kung fu theater starting Bruce Lee on Channel 5 in me. The Siempre en Domingo con Raul Velasco in me. The Aquanet and Cha-Cha hair proud and strong in a Suzuki Samurai cruising Lar Canyon in me. The Rubik's Cube in me, the iced tea in me, the Pac-Man in me, looking for the Miss Pac-Man in me. The little Mac with green boxing gloves, trying everything but giving up in me. The dream of what you won't do, you do for love in me. The Lisa Stanfield in me, searching for I don't know why I've gone so far away, and the NWA in me, expressing myself before it was safe in me. The creased khakis, the flannel shirt, and the humming of your puppet in me. The news of the Challenger space shuttle in me, heard over the intercom Mr. Morgan's English class in me, that it's so hot out here we slept outside in me, and don't worry because the Night Stalker has better bodies to stalk than Pacoima in me. The Whittier earthquake in me, the Homer Simpson in me, tormented like me, over the blue hair, pretty young thing, repeat after me in me. The Nevermore in me, the Astrosmurf, the Papa and the Jerry Lewis in me, the Choose Your Adventures book in me. The boombox in me, playing on the rainy day in me, to the empty window in me, the Timmy T, the Stevie B, wondering if I take you home. Will you still be the battlefield, the Berlin Wall, the Salvadoran War in me, the El Mago Gonzalez playing in Spain at the World Cup in me, the Fernando Mania, the Jaime Jabrin in me, the Donnie Moore, one strike away from the '86 World Series in me, the What Goes Around Comes Around Bill Buckner in me, the Lou Diamond Phillips lip sync of Oh Donna at the telephone booth in me, the Converse Chuck Taylors at a Payless Who Sells in me, the ColecoVision in me, the Mark the Rat Ratner in me, the Ducky dancing like it ain't no thing at the music store in me, the Al Pacino thinking he was out but they pulled him back in without an Academy Award for The Godfather 3 in me, the Poncherello, the Gloria Anzaldúa, the El Louis, the This Is For La Raza, the Poema de Amor in me, the Now Who You Gonna Call Me, the I Ain't Missing You At All Since You've Been Gone Away, playing over and over no matter what my friends might say. So I'll do the last one. It's called Karma. So if you're a poet, never share your love poems with your friends who might want to hook up with somebody else. Raul told me that any fool that recites poetry to a girl has a chance with her. But if he writes her a poem and sounds like Neruda in Spanish, that fool is surely going to get laid that night. Because even if he don't mean what he wrote, girls eat that shit up. So at 18, long before I met you, I handwrote you an emulation of Neruda's 20th in Spanish, as any 18-year-old would make with his hands fixed on lips, eyes on hips, lips on ears, and in the front yard, just below the leaves of a pepper tree. En esa noche te prometí el diseño de mi cielo, mi último anhelo, mi deseo de tu cuerpo y alma. Now, I'm not saying I was all that of the Shakespeare, but for a first piece of writing, that first poem I wrote you was off the hook. And I surprised myself because I really didn't know I had it in me. Even my Spanish was legit, especially for how limited it was. Raul read it. Then he said that no bitches were putting all that work into. Then he went on and really pissed me off. He left with my only copy of My Love for You. And then that motherfucker went home and rewrote word for word every promise, desire, angst, and desperation. And he carefully folded that poem neatly into an envelope and handed it over to Lydia, who he'd been wanting to hook up for a while. And it was my desire of your body and soul she fucked that night, and the next week. It was the most wonderfully fucked up relationship he had ever been in. Sex anywhere, anytime, before class, after, between, in their car, their parents' house, the park, on the roof of his dorm during finals. That fool was so pussy whipped, even in the church parking lot during mass. Too bad relationships aren't just about fucking all the time. Otherwise, they've been set. So after about a month, reality kicked in, and they couldn't go 10 minutes without arguing about some stupid shit like where she was at, where he was at, or who the fuck is that hood rabber motherfucker that we're talking to. Soon they were arguing just as much as they were fucking. Sometimes I think they just fucked just to stop fighting. And after each time, he pulled out my poem with my promises to you and read it to her as if that would make everything good again. And of course it did, because you know, my love for you is some powerful shit. And it worked for a while too, but that fool needed some new material, and I wasn't about to go sharing my love for you with him again. I didn't want to, but when he asked and offered me money to write him some new poems, well, I took it because I needed money. So I wrote him some half-assed rhyming crap because the relationship was not worth putting any real effort into. So no matter how much Vicks Vapor Rub they applied or how much 7-Up they drank, there was no way to save what they had. So I didn't have to see Raul's face to feel the devastation of his world collapsing the night we went clubbing. I wrote those promises Raul made himself eventually believe in. I obsessed over every word, syllable, punctuation, simile, metaphor, sensual illusion for days and weeks, like my hands, arms, legs, lungs, and my left intestine all depended on the perfect execution of that poem. And he walked off with my love for you and gave it away like it was some cheap-ass Hallmark card you signed your name at the bottom of. I didn't even have the chance to show it to you or read it to you the way I planned, on the walkway of the dam near sunset overlooking the valley. And it's not like he gave a shit about returning my poem to me either. I quit asking because at some point he kept saying he had lost it. So I knew exactly what he felt when he saw Livia bringing up some other fool under the disco lights that night. I leaned into him and said, "Karma's a bitch, man."
Thanks, Harold. That was great. So now we'll have a 10-minute break. If you haven't signed up for the open mic, the sign-up sheet's here. Support our hosts, buy something to eat or drink, and talk amongst yourselves, and come back for the second half. Greg Pond will be the MC.
Nice. Upstairs to the bedroom. LA style. Hello.
How you been?
Yeah, it's been,
It was excellent. Nice to hear you again.
Oh, thank you.
I was wondering where you were. Obviously you were around. Recognize you first with the hat. I recognize you
Yeah, it was nice to see you and have you seen about your, I just kind of like, I only go to certain
Greetings.
meetings, only because I live in the city, and
Yeah.
I don't go to about so much anymore.
Boy, she had powerful
With
I
Alejandro.
keep feeling it.
With Alejandro.
He was excellent, but also, one woman I know you probably heard, who's been there a while, was a teacher. There was another one, very dark. Where, sorry, African head, very small face, around 21, drunk, also a drummer. Boy, she powerful. She was a teacher. And then this other woman was a teacher. And then this will happen. The teacher had a teacher come visit her at school. And she wrote a poem about it. And the poem was so powerful, she lost it at school. Because this woman was so just incredible with her students and stuff that she had to examine her. What are these students doing here? Oh, so it's very cool.
Yeah.
I really like your last poem.
Your stuff gets better every time. Oh, does it?
Your storytelling was great.
Thank you very much.
That's sort of
Guess we're having like, this place just doesn't have like,
my friend that
I guess it is a part of it.
I don't know. I mean, I do they even have one?
Yeah, there's actually two.
She gets off there.
I think there's sacred light, there's sacred ground, so history project and sacred ground. So.
Oh, men, yeah, we go in.
Yeah, it's my mother.
We used to live in like this.
The old guard
15 years ago.
is in there. I just need some of but I don't know how it's they're like this.
Every time we go,
Yeah, it was over.
That was
near you.
That long has to be.
A little while ago. From down there.
my students did.
How come people are coming to this room?
Really enjoyed that.
That was good.